The Galactic Empire ruled almost every known star system. Its fleets were massive, its weapons feared, and its name alone forced worlds to bow. No species had ever refused its orders and survived. On this day, the Empire's High Council gathered inside a vast hall of black metal and glowing lights. Hundreds of alien leaders watched a large holographic screen floating in the center. A new species was being discussed. Its name was Earth. The screen showed a small human spacecraft. It was slow, simple, and clearly outdated compared to Imperial warships. The council chamber went silent for a moment. Then the laughter began. Generals mocked the design. Admirals laughed at its weak armor. Some even joked that the ship looked like scrap metal held together by hope. "Is this a mistake?" one commander asked. "This cannot be a real spacefaring race." The Emperor leaned forward on his throne. His cold eyes watched the image carefully. "Humans," he said slowly. "A young species from a small blue planet." Reports were read aloud. Humans had no large empire. They had no galactic allies. Their technology was described as primitive. The council laughed again. "They should be grateful we noticed them," one noble said. "Send the order." Total submission. The Emperor raised his hand, and the room became quiet. "Transmit the command," he said. "Earth will kneel. Or Earth will burn." The message was sent across the stars. It reached Earth within minutes. On Earth, the message played in every command center. Human leaders watched silently. No one shouted. No one panicked. The words were clear. Surrender all military power. Accept imperial rule. Pay tribute. Or face destruction. The Empire expected fear. They expected desperate negotiations. They expected begging. Instead, Earth sent nothing back. Hours passed. Then days. Still no reply. The Imperial Council was pleased. "Silence means submission," they said. "The humans are afraid." But far from the Empire's view, Earth was not silent. Deep beneath cities, hidden shipyards became active. Old defense plans were opened. Human engineers worked without rest. Military fleets that were never shown to outsiders began to move. Humanity remembered its past. They remembered wars on their own planet. They remembered what happened when survival was on the line. The Empire never asked how humans learned to fight. Back in the council hall, a fleet commander smiled. "Our invasion force will reach Earth soon," he said. "They will see our power and kneel before we even fire a shot." The Emperor nodded. "Make an example of them," he said. "Let the galaxy remember what happens when someone is foolish enough to resist." Imperial fleets began their journey. Thousands of warships moved toward the human system. To them, this was not a war. It was an execution. What the Empire did not know was simple. Earth was never a joke. It was a test. And the laughter that filled the council hall would soon be remembered as the moment the war truly. The Imperial fleets moved through space with confidence. Their ships were huge, shining, and filled with power. To the Empire, Earth was already defeated. This was only a matter of time. But Earth was not waiting in fear. Across the planet, alarms did not sound. Cities did not panic. There were no public speeches or dramatic warnings. Life on the surface continued as normal. The real work happened out of sight. Deep underground, human command centers came alive. Large screens showed star maps, fleet movements, and imperial routes. Human leaders stood calmly, watching every detail. There was no shouting. No chaos. Only focus. A senior commander spoke quietly. "They laughed at us," he said. "They think silence means weakness." Another officer replied, "Then let them keep laughing." Hidden shipyards opened their massive doors. Warships, long kept secret, powered up for the first time. These ships were not designed to look impressive. They were built to survive. They were built to win. Human engineers worked side by side with soldiers. Every system was checked twice. Every weapon was tested again. These were not new plans. They were old plans. Plans created after centuries of human conflict. Plans born from wars humans had fought against themselves. The Empire did not understand this truth. Humans had learned war the hard way. Far from Earth, deep in empty space, small human fleets began to move. They did not travel in large formations. They stayed hidden. Silent. Patient. Human strategy was simple. Let the enemy believe the story they wanted to believe. Back on Earth, a young officer looked at the incoming data. The Imperial fleet is massive, she said. They outnumber us. The commander nodded. Yes, he replied. But they do not know us. On the Imperial side, the mood was relaxed. Officers talked of quick victory. Some even argued over who would claim Earth's resources. They will surrender when they see our fleet, one admiral said. No species ever resists for long. The Empire never scanned deep enough. They never searched behind the moon. They never noticed the quiet signals moving through space. Earth allowed them to stay blind. As the Imperial fleets drew closer, a final human meeting took place. Leaders from different nations stood together. Old divisions no longer mattered. One voice spoke for all. We did not choose this war, the speaker said. But we will finish it. A simple command was given. Phase 1 is ready. Across Earth and beyond, systems activated. Human fleets adjusted their positions. Weapons powered up but remained silent. The Empire believed the first shot would be theirs. They were wrong. As Imperial ships crossed the final boundary toward the human system, Earth's commanders watched calmly. One of them spoke softly. Let them come closer. The trap was set. The silence remained. And for the first time, the Empire moved forward without knowing that it was walking straight into humanity's answer. The Imperial fleet entered the human star system in perfect formation. Thousands of warships filled the dark space like a moving wall of steel. Their weapons were charged, but their commanders were relaxed. To them, this was not a battle. It was a lesson. Imperial sensors scanned the area. They found only a few human defense ships near Earth. Old models. Outdated designs. The Empire laughed again. Open a channel, an admiral ordered. Let them see our power one last time. A message was broadcast. This is the Galactic Empire. Surrender now and your world may be spared. Earth did not reply. The Imperial Admiral shook his head. Fire a warning shot, he said. End this silence. Before the order could be carried out, something changed. Imperial sensors began to fail. Screens filled with static. Range data disappeared. What is happening? A technician shouted. Then space itself seemed to break. Human ships appeared without warning. They did not come from Earth's orbit. They emerged from hidden positions behind moons, asteroids, and dark space. Hundreds of them. Then thousands. They were smaller than Imperial ships, but fast. Their movement was sharp and precise. The first human strike hit without a single warning. Imperial forward ships exploded in seconds. Not from heavy cannons, but from focused, silent weapons. Energy cut through armor like paper. Confusion spread through the Imperial fleet. Who gave the order to attack? An officer yelled. No one did, another replied. The humans fired first. More Imperial ships vanished in bright flashes of light. Command vessels lost communication. Formations broke apart. On Earth, human commanders watched quietly. No cheers. No celebration. This is only phase 1, one of them said. Human ships moved in patterns the Empire did not understand. They struck weak points. They vanished before return fire could land. Imperial weapons fired wildly. They hit empty space. The Empire had trained to crush resistance. They had not trained to fight an enemy who refused to stand still. Panic began to spread. "Regroup the fleet," an admiral ordered. "Bring the flagship forward." The massive Imperial flagship moved into position. Its weapons powered up. Its shields glowed bright. "This ends now," the admiral said. The flagship fired. A powerful blast tore through space toward Earth. Before it reached its target, human defense systems activated. The energy attack vanished, absorbed, and redirected into space. Silence followed. The Empire had never seen such technology. Human ships answered. A coordinated strike hit the flagship's escort fleet. Several ships were destroyed at once. The Imperial flagship survived. But it was damaged. For the first time, Imperial commanders felt fear. "These are not weak primitives," one officer whispered. "This is a war fleet." On Earth, a final command was given. "Prepare Phase 2, the commander said. Human ships pulled back slightly. They did not retreat. They repositioned. The Empire believed the humans were slowing down. They believed they had survived the worst. They were wrong again. The first strike was never meant to win the war. It was meant to teach the Empire one simple truth. Humanity would not bow. The Imperial fleet was no longer calm. Orders overlapped. Signals crossed. The perfect formation was gone. Human ships moved like shadows. They appeared, struck, and vanished again. Every attack was precise. Every move had a purpose. Imperial commanders tried to regain control. "Focus fire," they ordered. "Destroy their small ships first." But the humans did not fight like the Empire expected. They did not charge forward. They did not hold fixed positions. They attacked command ships, supply lines, and communication relays. One by one, Imperial systems went dark. A senior admiral watched his screens in disbelief. "Our fleets are losing coordination," he said. "We cannot see the whole battlefield." The truth was clear. The Empire was fighting blind. Human forces worked together with perfect timing. Every strike followed another. When one Imperial ship fell, 2 more were already under attack. On Earth, commanders remained calm. They spoke in short, clear orders. No one raised their voice. "This is where they break," one officer said. The Empire tried to adapt. Heavy cruisers moved forward. Planet-destroying weapons powered up. But before they could fire, human ships struck again. Small human craft flew close to Imperial hulls. They targeted weak points the Empire never believed existed. Engines failed. Weapons shut down. Some Imperial ships surrendered. Others tried to flee. The Empire had never seen this before. Fear spread through their ranks. "This is not possible," an Imperial captain said. "We outnumber them." But numbers did not matter. The Empire had built its power on fear and force. Humans had built theirs on survival. Deep inside the Imperial flagship, the Emperor was informed. The reports were worse than expected. Entire battle groups were lost. Communication with the outer fleets was gone. The Emperor's voice was cold. "How?" he asked. No one had an answer. Outside, the battle continued. Human ships pushed closer to the Empire's core units. Every minute, the Imperial position weakened. A human strike team breached a major command carrier. They did not destroy it. They disabled it. A message was sent from Earth. "This is a warning," it said. "Withdraw." The Imperial leaders ignored it. They could not accept defeat. Not from a species they once laughed at. The Empire ordered a final stand. All remaining ships were commanded to attack at once. The battlefield became chaos. Human forces responded instantly. Traps were triggered. Hidden fleets joined the fight. The Imperial fleet collapsed. As explosions filled space, a realization spread through the Empire. They had not faced a weak world. They had awakened a force they did not understand. A force that learned war through pain. On Earth, a commander looked at the battlefield. Their mistake, he said quietly, was believing we would fight like them. As the last Imperial command ships fell back, one truth became clear. The Empire no longer controlled the war. Humanity did. The battlefield grew quiet. Not because the war was over, but because the Empire had run out of moves. Broken Imperial ships drifted through space. Once proud fleets were now scattered wrecks. Only a few command vessels remained, pulling back toward their capital world. Human ships followed slowly. They did not rush. They did not chase in anger. They had time. For the first time in its long history, the Galactic Empire felt fear. Inside the Imperial capital, alarms echoed through massive halls. Leaders who once laughed now argued in panic. Reports confirmed the truth they tried to deny. Earth had not fallen. Earth had risen. An emergency message was sent. A surrender offer. We request ceasefire, the Empire transmitted. Terms can be discussed. On Earth, the message was received. Human leaders listened in silence. One commander finally spoke. They demanded we bow, he said. They threatened our world. Another replied calmly. And now they ask for mercy. Human fleets surrounded the Imperial capital system. They did not fire. They waited. A final message was sent from Earth. You laughed at us, it said. You called us weak. You ordered our submission. The message paused. We do not bow. Human weapons powered up across the system. The Empire watched helplessly. Key Imperial military stations were destroyed. Defense platforms fell one by one. Not in rage, but with precision. This was not revenge. It was a lesson. The Empire's core fleets were disabled. Their command structure collapsed. Their power was gone. The Emperor stood alone as the truth settled in. His empire was finished. Human forces did not destroy the capital world. They did not erase its people. Instead, Earth issued a final command. The war ends now, the message said. The Empire will never threaten another world again. Across the galaxy, other species watched in shock. They had feared the Empire for generations. Now they saw it broken. And they saw who broke it. Humanity. Stories spread fast. Of a species mocked for its weakness. Of a world that stayed silent until it was pushed too far. Other civilizations began to speak Earth's name with respect. Some with fear. Some with hope. On Earth, life slowly returned to normal. Cities still stood. The planet survived. Human commanders looked to the stars. They did not celebrate loudly. One of them spoke quietly. We wanted peace, he said. They chose war. Humanity did not seek to rule the galaxy. But the galaxy learned something important. Humans were not aggressive by nature. But when threatened, they answered with fire. And no one would ever laugh at Earth again.